I'm Ashlynn Wyman, and today we're going to get started with a story about women in STEM. According to a study done by the Catalyst in 2019, women made up only 27% of the jobs in STEM. However, a Southeast dean is defying the odds. Here's Noelle Williams with the story.
I was going to do everything everybody told me not to do.
And Tamala Randolph did just that, becoming the first female chair and now dean of STEM here at Southeast. She knew she had a love for math at a young age, despite being discouraged by one of her teachers.
He told me girls weren't good at math.
But she went on to prove to him and herself that anything a man can do, so can a woman.
I went to the principal's office and had the principal take me out of his class. And they called my mom, and I went to a gifted class that was open at the same time and literally went through high school curriculum in 7th grade and then just kept continuing on.
Randolph says when she started her STEM career, she noticed the same trend. Most times she was one of few or the only woman in the room.
It wasn't when I got here colleagues said that women couldn't do it. There just weren't women around to do it.
Even here at Southeast.
When I came here 23 years ago, there were 2 other females in the college.
She explains it's important girls see an accurate representation of themselves.
It would have been nice to have a female role model. It would have been nice to say, oh my gosh, look at her, she did it, I can do it too.
And looks forward to the day she sees more women in STEM.
I mean, if somebody's excited about it and they want to do it, then they should be allowed to try it. You know, I think people should be allowed to have the opportunity that they want.
An award-winning poet visited Southeast last week in celebration of Black History Month. Here's our feature writer, Nicolette Baker, with the story.
I don't want to share this with nobody. Sometimes the poem literally will write itself.
Poet, playwright, and professor Jamon Hill brought his prose to Southeast.
I guess you could call it symphonic. I mean, your body is like a comet.
Hill performed several of his original poems for a crowd at the UC Program Lounge on February 25th. He read several poems from his book titled Made from My Mother's Ceilings. Vice President of the Student Activities Council, Anthony Pulliam, said the event was chosen to celebrate Black History Month.
He just does a lot of his own poetry that he's created on his own, and he's more or less a pro-Black poet. He has a lot of inspirational poems and things like that.
Those not able to attend the event can view performances of his poetry at jamonhill.com. For the Southeast Arrow, I'm Nicolette Baker.
Finally, we'll end with another story by Noelle Williams, who interviews a Southeast professor on the issue of global warming.
We need to take action right now to help slow that down.
John Kramer is the Director of Environmental Science here at Southeast. He says global warming is a short-term change in weather, but climate changes occurs over years and even decades, and this can affect certain environments and the people in it.
What happens when we don't have the rainfall for growing of crops? Well, you can irrigate, but what happens when you don't have water to irrigate?
He says the weather we saw in Texas was not usual. However, we should be more concerned if it were to happen again.
If it happens over and over and over again, right, that's a pattern, right? Mm-hmm. And then we start seeing the change, and then the answer is, does it affect your health?
Kramer says patterns like these over a long period of time, it's not always a bad thing. However, he says this can cause temperatures to change and then affect parts of agriculture, the economy, and even people's health.
The temperatures may change, right, which then affects rainfall, weather patterns, all those things.
He tells me the use of gas, usually carbon dioxide, can be resourceful, but has the possibility of getting trapped in the air and warm up, and this can lead to an imbalance.
But what happens when you have too much and you can't keep that exchange right where you need it?
He explains it's best to do what we can now, because if we wait for something to happen, it may be too late.
It's affecting your age group differently than mine, right? And it's going to affect your children and your children's children as we go. And if we keep going in the same direction that we're going in without taking action, then you can see detrimental effects.
Thank you for joining me. I'm Ashlynn Wyman, and I will see you next week on From the Newsroom.